Hello, and welcome to your weekly tech review with me, your host, ERIK Jensen. Let's dive right in. Our first headline comes from The Verge. Now, it's technically not a tech headline, but it involves GameStop, so I'm going to let it slide. And if you've been on any social media in the past week, you already know about the entire fiasco that is the GameStop stock. It's thanks to the popular subreddit known as Wall Street Bets that the stock price has risen nearly 1,700%, and it's mainly on popular trading platforms like Robinhood and Public. Now, it appears as though Robinhood, in their mighty wisdom and greedy pockets, have halted all trades of the GameStop stock and AMC. Now, how does this make sense that the stock that is named after the guy who steals from the rich and gives to the poor has stopped the people stealing from the rich? It doesn't make any sense. Now, of course, there have been plenty of negative headlines about Robinhood, and rightfully so. The Redditors of this popular subreddit have actually already banded together to create a class action lawsuit against Robinhood for corrupting the market. And I'm all on their side. Reddit is a beautiful community full of the weirdest people you'll ever meet in your life. Our next topic comes from Tom's Hardware. Apparently, Intel wants to get into the game of, hey, let's produce a GPU that nobody can buy by creating the Intel Iris Xe. Now, this is a discrete GPU, as in so discrete nobody will ever see it. Not really. You can have your own Iris Xe, but only if you buy one of their pre-built systems. Just don't try to swap it out into your AMD build, as the GPU requires a very specific BIOS update and Intel CPU to actually be able to run. Well, that really begs the question, with so many other GPUs on the market that will outperform this and fit into any system, why would you buy this? Our next story comes from PCMag.com. Now, the only thing worse than a company literally stopping people from doing what they're called is scalping up all the graphics cards that are on sale and then reselling them at insane prices. Apparently, scalpers have successfully sold around 50,000 RTX 3000 series GPUs through eBay and StockX. I mean, it's gotten so out of hand that scalpers had to start selling their GPUs on StockX, which is typically known for buying and reselling hard-to-find sneakers. And they are marking their prices up nearly 200%, and people are still buying them. And they've raked in an estimated $61.5 million in sales, with about $15 million in profit and $6.8 million going to the platforms where they're selling their cards on. Now, technically, these people aren't doing anything illegal. But you know what? No. This next article comes from Hardware Canucks. While AMD was quietly developing their laptop CPU line, the Zen 3 series, Intel was also creating one of their own. They call it the Tiger Lake H35. Now, I've always been fascinated by Intel CPU names, and I've often wondered how they've come to these names. And my guess is that they just ask a different question at every naming meeting, and they go with the first answer that pops up. Alright guys, we're going to name this one after an animal. What are tiger? Alright, thank you, Jim. We're going to go with tiger. Now, besides the strange name, this chip actually looks very cool. Specifically built for laptops like the AMD series, or more specifically an ultra laptop designed for gaming. And it should actually compete with the newest AMD CPU line as far as portable gaming computers go. They're going to be paired with the 3000 series, but the question remains, can you find one? No, that's not the question. The question remains, is there going to be enough horsepower behind these CPUs that they won't bottleneck the GPUs? Only time will tell. We should be able to find out in February when these are released, so we'll look forward to that. Our final story comes from Tom's Hardware again. Now, if you thought that scalping GPUs and reselling them at outrageous prices was bad, wait till you see this guy. Bitcoin miner Simon Byrne has 6 3080s in the trunk of his BMW i8. Now, we already know what they say about people who drive BMWs. So it only makes sense that this guy would have 6 3080s in the trunk of his BMW while I'm stuck here trying to run Cyberpunk on a 1660 Ti. Tom's Hardware reached out to Mr. Burns and asked for his confirmation that this was real, not a hoax. His response was, indeed, just to annoy gamers. Well, Simon, you did it. I'm not sure why, but you did it. That's going to be all for this week's edition of the Tech Review. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, so that way you see next week's. I'm your host, ERIK Jensen. See you then.